Alright, let's be real for a second. You're probably feeling it right now. Everything keeps getting more expensive. Your paycheck doesn't go as far. And to top it all off, big corporations keep merging, laying off workers, and swallowing up competition. But what if I told you that's not a coincidence? Behind almost every single brand that you love, and you might be using every day, your bank,
your grocery store, your landlord,
your favorite tech brand,
there's a hidden force quietly pulling some of the strings. These three companies don't just invest in businesses, they own significant portions of them. And when you own large chunks of everything, you own considerable influence. And they aren't in the business of selling products directly to you. They don't manufacture cars, they don't grow food, and they don't create technology. Instead, they control vast amounts of money. And not just any money, some of the biggest pools of money on the planet.
88% of the company on S&P 500, 88% of them, the largest shareholder of those companies is either State Street, BlackRock, or Vanguard.
A portion of your pension, some of your 401k, various government assets, and many corporate investments, most of them flowing through them. Apple, BlackRock, and Vanguard are top shareholders. Amazon, same thing. Google, they also own big chunks of that too. Food companies, Pepsi, Nestle, Coca-Cola, all under their influence. Even your rent, they invest in real estate trusts that are part of the housing market, contributing to the rising prices in some areas. So let's get one thing straight here. If one business is worth billions and trillions of dollars, there's a very good chance they own a piece of that too. And when you own a lot of pieces of a lot of things, competition can be affected because at the highest level, it's often the same money influencing multiple players. But you may be thinking, wait, isn't this how investment works? Not exactly, because when BlackRock owns both shares in Pepsi and Coca-Cola, GM and Ford, McDonald's and Burger King, Nike and Adidas, Google and Apple, you may start to think, are they really competing? Or are they just two brands partially controlled by the same shareholder at the top? This is what makes their power
potentially concerning.
They don't have to directly compete. They can influence the competitive landscape. They can push policies that benefit their profits, their shareholders, their executives. However, companies also need to consider consumer and worker needs. And because their stakes are so large, they have boardroom influence. That means they don't just invest passively. They can influence company decisions. So when multiple companies in the same industry all start raising prices at the same time, or when they all seem to agree to squeeze out smaller businesses, is that always just the market? Or could it be partially
coordination?
Now here's where it gets even more interesting, because it's not just businesses that they can just influence. They can also influence governments. Who do you think owns significant stakes in defense contractors like Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, and Boeing? BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street. Who owns shares in media corporations like Disney, Comcast, Fox, and the New York Times? BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. Who are among the holders of US government debt? Again, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street.
This is a conspiracy theory.
These are public records, and when you can influence the military, the news, and the government's finances, it raises questions about who exactly is left to fully stop you if your influence is used in a problematic way. Because these firms aren't just influencing the economy, they are a significant part of the economy. We feel the effects every single day.
I just got live footage of the housing market where BlackRock just outbid a single mom and her 5 kids.
When your rent goes up, it's partially because these firms are involved in the housing market along the many other factors. When your groceries cost more, it's partially because they own pieces of the food supply chain along with other market forces. When banks deny your loan, it's partially because they own influence banking policy along with many other factors. So to sum it all up, the way I see this is when we think of monopolies, we're thinking Apple, Google, here in Canada, Bell, Rogers, These are all monopolies. We have to remember that the real monopoly are these three companies: BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. If you really think about it, it's kind of like your favorite soccer team, football team, or even basketball team all competing on another level. I guess it's a whole nother game. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, this is meant to be both educational and for entertainment purposes. Catch you on the next one.